down,
Step
this
one and
part
step
will
two.
automatically adjust into here. And so this plate's job, it comes here, that gives us a flat workpiece. So that part's done. So you take this part, put it onto your lathe, slide it on, slide that out of the way. Grab the rotor, slide that in. Then you have a couple of choices. I'll use adjuster. That piece there. The threads here
Watch out.
are left-hand threads. Okay? They tighten to the left. Left-hand threads here.
Those are two, whatever things you put on there?
One's a silencer band, this one here. Reverse. This part is the silencer. You have to have this silencer on here to get in and quiet it down and muffle the vibrations in it. So this has to go right here.
Okay.
Has to go here.
The other one is what?
Just space. Okay, you take your wrench.
That's
Don't get carried away. Just give it a nice snug. Don't get carried away. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to turn it on. Okay, you're going to turn it on. Okay. That's what I thought. It's working in the off position today. And so what I'm looking for anything that's abnormal or for setup. Okay. So right now, as I look at it, it looks pretty good. It's not doing anything strange. If it does something strange, I have to go through and recheck my setup. Either something here is not flat, or there's corrosion on here, or this is bent, or something on that route. But it seems pretty good. So now I can take this part. This is a number 6900 twin facing tool. This part here, same thing. Don't get carried away. Just snug it up. That's all you need to do. And I have it both fairly light, fairly centered. Now, as we look at a few things here. Oh. Now I can have this adjusted all the way out. But, however, the further I have this out, the more wobble I have. I'm further from my bearings. That's why I want this part as close as I can, this way. So pretty much I go like that's bottomed out. That's not going to work. So I usually give it about 1 to 2 revolutions in. But I want this as far this direction as I can get. Center it. What does this do? What does that do? So what this does, this machine, the question is, what does this knob do? And what this machine does, I can work off this axis here, or I can work off this axis here. By working off this axis, I put a bar in here, and I can take my drum, and I can cut drums going this way. This is to cut rotors. And so as a safety precaution, if I have this set up and I'm cutting rotors, the idea is to pinch into this so this doesn't rotate. If this rotates, that goes directly into my rotor. And I go, oops.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Oops.
Oops.
Okay. Then you tell somebody to go to O'Reilly?
And then you go. Fucking right, we're going down there.
So that's what that's for. It's to lock that in. Now this one I have in the off position. This is this axis here. So that's it. So now I can take this part. I have another pinch pull at the very bottom. What you want to do is run it to right about the middle. The middle of your rotor is where you're going to have the most wear. Or it should be the thinnest.
No more in the middle?
Right there. No, I want the middle. I want where I have the most wear. Then I have to have a silencer band. What a silencer band does is as you cut these, it creates chatter and vibration. That chatter and vibration is going to show up in your finish. And I don't want that to show up in my finish. I don't want a nice, perfect surface finish for my new pads to break into.
I'll stand on that. We'll be all right.
Is that the same thing as the harmonics?
It is the exact same thing as harmonics.
I will give you my
And if you're
number.
brave-
Send me that so I can.
Oh,
You'll
wow.
use that if you're brave.
Oh, are you gonna use that? Wow.
I'm brave.
Okay,
Stand
everybody
right
back up. Everybody back
Stand in
up.
front, Deanna. I don't
Okay.
want to get hit.
It's broken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A little stretchy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's patina.
It's gonna. That thing's. Oh my God, that thing's gonna flip off.
Right. So now, next thing I have it all set up the way I want. Now I got to figure out where is zero. I need to find the zero mark for this rotor. So the easiest way to do that is start from this side here, as this one's harder to see, and you're listening for the harmonics. So you're just going to rotate this a little bit. Okay. You hear that scratch?
Yeah.
That's called a scratch cut. So that tells me exactly where zero is. They're going to come do the same thing on this side. Okay, so that's zero.
But they're two different sounds. What?
And you can tell it's doing this bit. It's not flat.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so the next thing I want to do, looking at this rotor, is if you just touch it, you can tell it has it has a wave to it.
Oh yeah.
And as with the rouge rotors, you'll also get a lip on this outside edge. So the first thing I would do is I would turn it on, and I want to manually cut off that lip. Okay. I want to make sure, if I try to take a cut and I have that lip, it'll cut, then I'll get to that lip, and I'm going to break the bits. Okay, so I just set, so now I know through this part here, it's set at zero. So now I can run it all the way in. So this side,
So are all like the disc, like everything the resurface, the disc, and the rotors, are they pretty much the same machine, or is there different models like
for
have
the
different
most
settings?
part, this has been used for the past 40 years. Has not changed.
Okay.
However, next Wednesday is the new model. Of
Do you have it here?
Of course we have it here.
Is that it?
No.
All right.
So I have where zero is. So now I want to take a cut. Now looking at this rotor, it's going to vary of how much you take off depending on the condition of it. This one's mildly crappy. It's not totally crappy, it's mildly crappy. So I'm going to take off a fair amount of it. And if you come over, let me do it this way. Okay. The surface finish is doing this bit. This is what the surface has in it, as weight. Okay. So on this one, I'm gonna take, you with your lines. You can't zero it out. I don't bother because I can count to 4. Even Erwin can count to 4. So on this specific rotor, what I want to do is I'm just gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. Okay, and then you just gently lock that bit in. Do the same thing to this side.
4.5.
4.5. Okay. Do the same thing to this side. Now you have some choices. You can do a fast cut, or you can do a slow cut. What I'm doing on this rotor, this one's fairly beat up. So the first pass I'm just roughing it up. I just want to get it too close to where it's supposed to be. Then when I pass it again, I'm going to go a slow cut, and that slow cut's giving me the nice surface finish that I'm looking for. So all you have to do, you lift up here, push it forward, automatically engages, and starts cutting our rotor.
Not very fast. And ask you if you could turn their rotors. And I mean, how can you know for sure that you can cut them? Depending on the lateral run out.
Measure them first.
Can you bring our rotors started?
And what?
Can you bring our rotors from home?
Yeah, I only charge $20 a piece.
No, he wants to bring his own rotor and do it
I know.
himself.
I only charge 20 bucks a piece.
Oh, that will be. Oh, that will be that more.
Oh wait, is this on film? Free.
Wait, where's that $20 going?
Sure, what's
No, the only reason why I was
40.
asking
Do it at once.
because one time when I was working at Sears,
Don't worry, YouTube will come out.
and he
Right.
said, well, you know, if you can't turn
Well,
them,
you don't. Are you gonna send me a YouTube video?
one of our mechanics,
They email it to you.
He did one, the other one out of, Okay, so that was just what do you call it? That was his air?
Got a lot of back hair. There we go.
All right. So now you never shut the machine off with those bits on the rotor. It destroys the bits. So as we go take a little quick look, we go, wow, that is pretty messed up. All right. So that gives you an indication of how bent this rotor is. So that tells me, hey, we might have to do a little bit more work on this one.
Maybe.
Maybe. So we shut it off, run it back in.
That's a good spot.
Loosen up the two parts. Again, we're going to take a little bit,
How much you going?
a little more off. Another 4. There we go. Okay. Now you run another fast cut.
In my job, we have a process. It's got like the whole thing covered here. So like all the dust that's left over, it stays in there. I've got little gaps so you can take in a vacuum once you're done. And all that.
Another big extension. Oh. So for the most part,
For the most part, he's screwing it up more.
Wait, what's the minimum on this?
oh, we're way ahead.
Are we doing something illegal?
Yes, we are.
For demo,
Always.
no. Do what?
I don't even do work around here.
Do oversize? Yes, this is a demo. So if you notice on one side of it, it's gotten most of it cleared up. What you can't see on this side,
Oh, I can see it.
this side is still really bad. Even